Hello everyone, Switch Double here. I decided to talk about a little bit more about the G5. Ever since we know, as Hasbro announced last year, last year during the previous when it used to start of season 9, that season 9 would be the final season of my opinion of G4, and that they had announced it's going to be a new generation. And that the generation will take place for some time between 2020 to 2021, but when it start with the movie. But now these days, I do wonder, is the movie and the G5 going to happen as promised? I mean, is they going to add? I mean, is it still in the production going to be as promised? They're going to be released as they had previously suspected or had decided want to be released on. The movie is going to be released at the end of this year, and that the show will be starting probably in spring 2021. But I'm not so sure about that though. If we had to consider what's going on in the world right now with the coronavirus is going on, is this possibility that the move itself and the G5 might be delayed? Maybe to earliness, maybe, I don't know, maybe as summer, or perhaps even if this movie is going to be released, but if during this virus corona crisis going on, it is possibility that the movie itself might be delayed till maybe at the end of 2021, and that serious majority of G5 might start to air on 2022. And you may ask, why suddenly I think about this lately? Why does suddenly this G5 might be delayed? Is there any sources that can infer from it? No, there isn't. But if I had to explain why, in my opinion about this, because many of the movies from Disney had been put on hold. For example, the new Bond movie that was going to be released sometime this year had been put on hold to end of the year. And even Disney's remake of the live-action Mulan had also been put on hold until at least the next year. Because during this crisis, a lot of movies had been put on hold until for at least several months to up to a year. So I thought, what about the G5 movie and the G5 show? Will they also be delayed for some time? Because I don't know if the Hasbro and DHX are still working on the show and the movie even though this crisis going on. Even that many of the organizations that try to help and try to convince people, if you can work from home, do that. So I don't know if if the G5 will be delayed with another year or so, because we don't know how long this crisis can last. Some people I heard can last up to the entire summer, and even some worst case scenario, even up to Christmas. So if I would say, there's a strong chance that G5 movie and the G5 show might be delayed, but still though there isn't any sources that I can confirm if it's going to be delayed or it's going to go is still going in according to plans of the show. I mean, there might still even a possibility that the show is going to be released on TV in 2021 as decided. But I don't know for sure, because I might be discussing that, might be some debate within the Browning fandom, I don't know. But this is something that I should think even consider to mention about. And if there was going to be a delay about G5, it is very likely that the movie might end up to be late 2020, sometimes in the fall or winter, and not the next Generation 5 we might end up maybe as early as February or even perhaps March. Well, maybe it's on early 2021. There isn't any sources, like I mentioned. I can't confirm or deny of any of these claims because isn't any something that I heard. This is only on my opinion. I mean, if we had to think about that, many of the Disney movies that had been was prepared was going to be released on the cinemas or the movie theaters within several months from now had been postponed until maybe the next earliest next year. So the truth is though, there is a very possibility, there's a big chance that G5 might be delayed. But how long? Maybe a few months, maybe until the end of the year, or maybe as early as next year. I mean, think about it though. Even like BronyCon or BabsCon, well, BabsCon was going to be part of this year, but they had to cancel it due to the fact that this coronavirus going on, which I do expect, which I perfectly respect it and understand why. I mean, the convention was going to be packed with people, like hundreds of people, and they wanted to make sure that prevent the virus to spread even further, and especially with the children and other teenagers or perhaps even elderly who visit this convention. So I understand that part, yes. And I can also even understand if Hasbro and DHX had decided to delay with the production of or the release of G5 until maybe as early as next year. I mean, there isn't much I can go from this. Say, there isn't any much I can go to confirm my claims about this. I mean, if we had to be figure out too much about the previous, if the virus had even gone on, then if everything would have been going according to plans. Like the movies that Disney had planned would be on TV had been aired on the cinemas by now, and all the even BabsCon would have been on had been going through as all normally. But now that this virus is going on, it's a strong chance that this G5 might be delayed. But exactly how long, it cannot be said for certainly now. It can be up to until maybe as to the summer or perhaps even end of this year or as early as maybe as late as to the early next year. There is still not much more about these details I can go for. But I do hope, even if there's going to be a delay of the 5 months within perhaps even a year, I'm still going to watch this next generation. Even this still with the fandom, there might be some mixed feelings towards the new generation. Like, why? Why start a new generation when this first one, the G4, had been on TV for nearly 10 years? But I do. But even if we don't know for sure if G5 might be delayed, it is possibility that. But if we consider from one point of view, even if it's going to be delayed, we don't know how many of the staff has been forced to be staying home from work, and which could even explain if they suddenly decide to announce that they decide to delay with the G5, both the movie and the show, but perhaps for a year, because if they reveal in even announcement that they decide to wait for it to release it because they had most of their staff would have been sent home during this crisis. So it would not be as much as a big surprise if Hasbro decided to delay with the new generation with some perhaps with a few months or perhaps even a year before that. There is a lot of things that can change though. The virus could have been ended. The corona crisis might even have been ended sometimes, perhaps even during the summer, and everything was going to be under control and perhaps even be over, but some maybe during, let's say if assume the virus is going to be over around the summer, and perhaps then even then the J5 might still be as going on very least as according to plans. But until then, we cannot say for certainly if G5 will be going to be released as they have been decided or going to be delayed. But there is both a chance 50-50 in the show can still be released as promised and decided, or the 50-50 that the show will be delayed for some later on for a later date. We don't know for sure about that yet until it isn't until Hasbro had decided to reveal this in some official information. This just came to my mind that I need to tell my subscribers and viewers about this, just in case if they had any some curious mind about was if this going to be if Hasbro is going to still reveal this as they probably previously did. But anyways, Hasbro might still reveal this to us at some point later on if G5 will be still released as promised, or it will be delayed. Who knows? Until then, though, all we can do is wait and keep our eyes open for any information about this. And if you have your opinion about this, let me know in the comment section below. And this is always, subscribe, leave a comment, and this is always, this is Switch Davo, over and out.